Hello students, myself Syed Hussain, Assistant Professor in EEE Department from KJRT College of Engineering and Technology. So today in this session we are going to discuss about the transformers. So transformers. So here the transformers basically which transfers the energy from one circuit to another circuit. As you can observe anywhere, the transformers are placed in the villages and towns, in cities, everywhere you can observe. Why? Because they transfers electrical energy from one circuit to another circuit. And moreover, the transformer is a static device and it is also a AC machine. So now from the definition of the transformers, we can call it is a static device, right? It is a static device. It doesn't having any rotating parts, guys. Okay, it is a static device which transfers electrical power from one circuit to another circuit without changing its frequency and magnitude. If you look at the circuit, the general representation that can be having the primary winding and secondary winding, and which having the magnetic core along with this, okay, it's having the magnetic core to transfer the power. So there should be some medium, right? There should be some medium. Without medium, we cannot send that electrical power from one circuit to another circuit. So this will be the magnetic core. This will be the magnetic core here. So on this magnetic core, we need to wound up primary winding and secondary winding. So it is to be primary and secondary. Okay. So basically the transformers are used in the generating station to step up the voltage, and in the transmission system to again at the sending end and receiving end. Okay, why? Because some receiving end positions we need to step up the voltage, some sending end type we need to step up the voltage, so that sending end type and the receiving end type also we use the transformers to step up and step down the voltage levels. Okay guys, and obviously in the distribution side also we use the transformers. Why? Because in the power generating stations we basically generate the power in the range of 11 kV. Okay, 11,000 volts will be generated in the power generating stations, and that 11 kV cannot be used by the consumers, right? Our main intention is continuity power supply to the consumers without any interruption, right? So to reduce that interruption, we are using the transmission lines. Okay, and there will be a grid connected system, and through that the consumers will get the continuity power supply. Okay, apart from that, in the generating station, the 11 kV will be step up by the using the transformers. That will be a 33 kV, or it may be a 66. Okay, it may be a 66, or it may be 132 kV by using the step up transformer, right? And this 132 kV cannot be used by the consumer, right? In our home applications we use only 230 volts, but here we can observe 132 kV. How it is possible? So that we are using the transformer. So with the help of this transformer we can step up the voltage as well as we can step down the voltage levels. Okay guys, now let's look at the different kind of names it has. So that first of all we are saying that which is a constant frequency device. As you know that in our India the frequency will be the 50 Hertz. Whereas in case of United States of America they will use the 60 Hertz. So in the primary the winding which is having the 50 Hertz power, the frequency, in the secondary also which maintains a constant frequency, so that we can call the transformer is a constant frequency device. Is it clear? Right. So and moreover here we can call the transformer is not a energy conversion device, guys. It is not a energy conversion device. What it means, a energy conversion device, according to law of conservation, the charge cannot be created nor be destroyed, and according to law of conservation of energy, the energy cannot be created nor be destroyed, right? So and that energy cannot be converted, right? So we are using some electromechanical conversion techniques, and the techniques or will be them using in the generators and motors. And in the generators and motors, if you can observe in the generator, the input will be the mechanical energy, and the output will be the electrical energy. As you know that it is a general thing, everybody knows. And whereas in case of motors, the output will be the mechanical energy and input will be the electrical energy. So guys, you can see here, energy conversion is going to be very clearly done by this generator and motor. Okay. So in case of transformer, there is no energy conversion. Takes place. Why? Because the input will be the electrical energy I am giving here, and output also the electrical energy. There is no energy conversion going to be happen in the transformers. Is it clear? So that the transformer cannot be treated as a energy conversion device. Okay, only generator and motor can be considered as a electromechanical energy conversion devices. Okay, so this is very important now. And next, the transformer, which is also treated as a constant power device. Sir, just now you said the power is transferred. That means the voltage will be increases and decreases. That means the step up voltage and it will step down the voltage. But you are saying which is a constant power device. How it means? I am saying that this is a constant power device. I am not saying a constant voltage device. That means the voltage V1 and I1 can be treated as a primary voltage, primary current, and V2 and I2 will be treated as a secondary voltage and secondary current. But as you know that the power will be the product of voltage and current, right? The power will be represented by the product of voltage and current, and that is also can be treated as V1 I1 is equals to V2 into I2. So that I can call easily this is a constant power device. Okay, and the next, the transformer, which is also treated as a constant power device, constant flux device also. Okay, flux, where we got the flux? Now the new term has came across here, that is a magnetic flux. So this is a magnetic flux, guys. Yeah, exactly. This line represents magnetic flux lines. So you can represent the magnetic flux lines by pi. Okay. So where we are getting the magnetic flux? So the power cannot be transferred directly. There should be some medium, right? And that medium is a magnetic core. So this is a core, magnetic core. With the help of this magnetic medium, only the power is going to be transferred from low level to high level and the vice versa. Okay, right. So for example, if you take 100 Webers, the magnetic flux in the transformer, during the operation, just I am assuming that the magnetic flux is developed in the primary and secondary winding will be the 100 Webers. Whatever the load condition, that means basically we know that, right? So there will be full load condition, there will be the half load condition, and there will be the 1/4 load condition, right? So these are the three type of load conditions we know, right? So whatever the load condition, the magnetic flux cannot be changed, which maintains a constant of 100 Webers, Okay, so that's why the transformer, which is also treated as a constant flux device, right? Is this clear? Right. So the next one, the transformer is a singly excited device. Now you can see here, guys, you can observe clearly the transformer, for example, it is a 11 kV. 11 kV I am giving here. the load will be that 440 volts for 3 phase, not for the single phase. Just I am drawing here for a single phase circuit, but whereas coming to 3 phase, there will be the 3 windings. Why? Because there should be the R phase, Y phase and the B phase. There are the 3 phase circuits, but here on the board I am representing that only one phase, that is a R phase. So, if you consider as an example of 11 kV is going to be connected to the transformer, the output will be the 440 volts, right. So, what we can call this transformer is a 11 kV by 440 volts step down transformer, right. So, this is a step down transformer. Now, here, this is a singly excited device now. This is a singly excited device. It is not a doubly excited. In case of synchronous machines or DC machines, those are the doubly excited devices. Those are the not singly excited. They need 2 excitations. So, that will be the different. Here we are talking about the transformer. So, the primary winding which is excited by a single source, not just 2 sources here, we are having a single source. So, we can call the transformer is also a excited device. Is it clear? Now, how many names we can call for the transformer? It is around 5 to 6 names. 5 to 6 names. The first one is a static device. Okay. The second one is a constant frequency device, and the transformer which is also treated as a constant power device, and which is also treated as a constant flux device and constant frequency device, right. So, these are the different kind of names of the transformers. Is it clear? It is very clear, right. And one more 2 names are there. Why? Because I have specially indicating these names. Those are the different power, frequency, flux, those are different. But the remaining 2 names which I am giving here, those are the transformer which is also called as a negative feedback device. Okay. And the transformer which is also treated as a phase shifting device. Okay. So, these are the special names. In the future classes, you may know that what will be the negative feedback device and what will be the phase shifting devices. Okay. It is approximately 180 degrees phase shift between the voltage and current. Why means that will be explained in the future classes. So, now here. So, these are the different kind of names which we can call for the transformers. Next thing, there should be some kind of configurations. Basic requirements will be there now. There will be basic requirements. So, let me show you what are the basic requirements. So, let me write here. Basic requirements for inducing the EMF. In the conductors. What are the basic requirements? So, let me tell you, basically we need the 3 requirements now. Can anyone guess what are the 3 requirements for inducing the EMF in the conductors? Now, you can observe in the circuit there is a winding. Okay, there is a winding. Winding nothing but which is a bunch of conductors. And that bunch of conductors are supplying by an additional source. That 11 kV is going to be connected to the bunch of conductors and EMF will be induced. And what are the requirements? We need for developing the EMF in the conductors? That is the question, right? So, can anyone guess what are the 3 requirements? Exactly, yes, basic things only. So, first one is a set of conductors, okay. Yeah, second one, that is a magnetic field system. What is the third one? So, here if you look at that, On the screen, on the board, you can observe there is a winding and there is a magnetic flux. The two requirements are sufficient. But what is the third one? What is the third one? And the third one is relative space variation. Relative space or time variation. Relative space or relative time variation. With the help of these three, we can generate the induced EMF in the conductors. Okay. And now, without any principle, we cannot develop the EMF, right? Without any principle, without any mechanisms, how will you develop the EMF in the conductors? So there, what is the mechanism? What will be the mechanism in all electrical machines? That is a Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, right? So on this principle only all the electrical machines are now working. Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Magnetic induction. Okay. The name Faraday's, he is a scientist, he is the greatest scientist. So his principles, based on his principles only, that electrical machineries, all the electrical machines are working right now. Whatever the machine which we are using in the technology, all the machines are working on this electromagnetic induction principle, right? So basically there are two configurations. What are the two configurations here? So if you look at the configurations, the first configuration will be stationary field, okay, stationary field, rotating conductors, right? So what will be the secondary? What will be the second one? Yes, you can guess easily, right? You can estimate what will be the second one. Obviously, the first one is a field is stationary, second one is a rotating field, right? Exactly. Stationary conductors, and rotating magnetic field. I am writing. Yes, this much is enough for any electrical machine. This much is enough. The two configurations are enough for generating electrical energy from the generator or motor, or to transfer the electrical power, our favorite one, that is the transformer. Okay, you need to give a respect to this transformer. Why? Because it's transferring the power levels from low level to high level to low level, right? Yeah. So now, if you look at this, the stationary field and rotating conductors, this is one kind of configuration, and the stationary conductors and rotating magnetic field. Okay. So as I said here, set of conductors and magnetic field system, and here also we are having the same thing, right? Magnetic field and set of conductors and field. Okay. So now, what the Faraday is saying in principle, okay, what is saying actually? So basically we are saying the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, which plays an important role in all electrical machines, especially in the transformers also, right? So what it's saying, that means whenever a conductor placed in a magnetic field, the conductor cuts the flux across it. And EMF will be induced. In the conductors, right? So this will be the EMF. Okay, this will be the EMF. Now, there should be current direction, right? Like this. And here also you will get the E1 and E2. It is clear? Yes, exactly. So what is the first law of the Faraday's? whenever the conductor is placed in a magnetic field, the conductor will cut the flux across it and EMF will be induced in the conductor, right. So, now here you can observe these are the conductors, these are placed in a magnetic field and EMF will be induced in this conductor. Now in electrical machines, in all electrical machines, this principle which can be explained in different manner, what will be the different manners here? These will be the two configurations, based on this the phenomena will be explained in different manner. Okay. Now, the Faraday's law that can be explained in two different ways. Here I am saying the first one, whenever a rotating conductor placed in a magnetic field, which magnetic field? Stationary magnetic field. Is it satisfying the first one? Exactly, right. The first law is satisfying the first one. Whenever the rotating conductor placed in a stationary magnetic field, the conductor will cut the flux across it and EMF will be induced. Okay, that will be the first one. For the second configuration, the Faraday has explained in detail, that will be like this. Whenever a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field, okay, when a current carrying conductor placed in a magnetic field, which magnetic field it is? Rotating magnetic field. Is it satisfying this or not? Yes, exactly. So, whenever a current carrying conductor placed in a rotating magnetic field, the conductor will experience a force. Now, that force will be the mechanical output. And the two principles what I said here, that will be the best suitable for the generators and this is the best suitable for the motors. Sir, what about transformers? You may ask a doubt. Sir, what will be the about transformers? Yes, exactly. The same principle that can be applicable here. Now, if you look at the first configuration, you just go through this. The conductors are stationary, right? Or the second one, you can take that. Conductors are become stationary. It is not moving. The transformer doesn't consist of any rotating parts. It is a static device, it doesn't having any rotating parts inside of the transformer. Is it clear? Right. So, if you look at the second configuration, that is exactly matching with our transformer. Now, the conductors are become stationary and the field is rotating. Now, you can observe here, field is rotating. Now, the magnetic flux, the dotted line represents the magnetic field. Right. So, this magnetic flux which is always rotates with the time to time, it isn't having the constant value, it doesn't changes, it having the alternating quantity. So, why? Because I am giving the supply of AC, right. Okay. With respect to time, the voltage magnitude and the current magnitude will be changed. When the voltage and current magnitude changes, automatically the flux produced in the magnetic core will be changes. Okay. So, the second configuration exactly matches with our transformer operation. So, that the transformer which is also works on the principle of Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. Okay. After that, here the conductor is cutting the magnetic flux, EMF is inducing, right? What type of induced it is? What type of EMF is induced in the conductors? We have to know, right? We have to know what type of induced EMFs. So, basically those are two types, guys. The first one is dynamically induced EMF. Okay. Dynamically induced EMF. Can anyone guess the second one? Yes. First one is a dynamically, that means a rotational type, right? So, obviously the second EMF will be statically induced EMF. right. So again this statically induced EMF further classified into two types, that is self and mutual. Self and mutual, okay. Self and this will be the mutual type, okay. So the dynamically type of induced EMF that can be explained in a simple manner that the EMF induced in the conductors which are rotating and which is placed under stationary magnetic field, okay. When the stationary field is there and the conductors are rotating, at this EMF, the dynamically induced EMF will be developed, okay. Whereas in case of statically induced EMF, the EMF induced in the conductors, where the field is rotating, and conductors will be stationary. So here statically induced EMF, okay. And the remaining, the self and mutual, the self induced EMF, that means the EMF induced in a coil due to current flow through its own coil. So that we will get the self induced EMF, right. The mutual will be the EMF induced in the armature conductors, that means the conductors, okay, where the current flowing through the another coil, that will be called mutual induced EMF, okay guys. So this is how about introduction of the transformer and the basic requirements. What are the basic requirements we need, we have seen here, and what on the principle, on which principle the transformer is going to be work, that will be the Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, and the basic configurations, what are the configurations we have seen here, and next the two laws, what are the basic law of the Faraday's we have seen, and the types of induced EMF in the conductors, okay guys. I hope you guys understand about this topic. So thank you everyone.